Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to continue on reading Getting Caught in the Rain. Remember that I didn't make this fanfiction, this wonderful fanfiction. That ThatEnbySlug is the creator. Please support them. I'm going to put the link to the story in the description and in the comments. So further ado, let's begin. Getting Caught in the Rain, Chapter 2, Retrospective. Milk body wash. Oh, buy one, get one. You tick through your list in your head, basket dangling from your wrist as you drift down the narrow aisle of the corner shop near your flat. Just a handful of odds and ends before heading home. You still had an hour of daylight left to kill, and then it would be straight into the hot bath. Maybe a book. Bed early. The thought alone makes your shoulders loosen. The store hums with a usual blend of sounds, syrupy pop music on tiny speakers. The squeal shopping cart wheel in need of oil. The lower hum of a stranger's mummer of strangers chatting about nothing important. Domestic noise, comforting noise. You always found safety in this, blending into the background. Just another faceless customer in the crowd. It was what had kept you safe so far. Until this morning. Yeah, your hand hovers over a box of crackers, eyes scanning a nutrition panel without really seeing it. The screen keeps replaying itself in your head. The scene keeps replaying itself in your head, like your conscience has set up a projector they can't switch off. Every stumble, every mistake, replayed in excruciating detail, as though some aloof French film director was behind the lens, cigarette smoke curling upwards as they shake their head in disappointment. I'm gonna butcher this French. You snap yourself out with it. You snap yourself out of it with a glimpse and shove the box back into the shelf, hurrying down the aisle. Just get this over with. Get home, draw the bath, pretend that you not living inside someone else's story. Because the game script would be rolling forward, whether you want it to or not. Peter would keep moving towards YN, inevitable as a tide. He'll get them one way or another, and you, if you're lucky, you won't have to see him again, except in whispers of police reports, or the flicker of his face on the evening news, wanted for kidnapping, murder. The thought makes your stomach twist, and yet another question worms its way in. What happens then, if he reaches the ending? If Lion's taken, if the credits roll, what happens to you? Does the world reset? Will you snap back to day one, stuck in the same 4-day loop forever? 5-day? 5-day loop forever. You remember it clearly. Only 4 days were ever playable. The 5th unlocked, unreachable. You had been the player, but now you were inside. You drift forward in a daze, clatter of the conveyor belt snapping you back. The cashier clears her throat, then actually snaps her fingers in front of you. Oh, sorry, he jolted. fumbling your basket into the counter and flashing a sheepish smile. Something about a long shift at work tumbles out of your mouth, the excuse automatic and clumsy. The cashier scans your items. The beep, beep, beep fills the silence, while your thoughts kept racing. What happens after day 4? Do you wake up in your own bed, in your own world? Or do you start over again, trapped in the same story? The worst possibility of all? What if you don't wake up at all? Converse scruffled nosy against the sidewalk, each step dragging like someone had strapped lead weights to your ankles. What was supposed to be a simple, relaxing end to the day had dissolved into a budget brand existential crisis. Great job, brain. 10 out of 10. You raked a hand through your hair, pausing at the corner where the street tilted westward. The sky above was a painter's dream, molten orange melting into streams of rose and violet, the kind of sunset people stopped to photograph. It was so real, too real, and yet you couldn't shake it. The sky wasn't the sky. It was code, fabricated light painting across the endless dome. Still, if you squinted just right, it was almost enough to forget you were trapped inside a game. Almost. The hall pit opened in your stomach. How many sunsets did I even get? Day 4 loomed closer with every tick of the clock. After that, a sharp clatter snapped you out of your thoughts. The crisp sound of a pebble skimming across pavement. Your head whipped around. The street was almost deserted, save for the stray plastic bag scrapping along this curb, tugging by a lazy breeze. No footsteps, no cars, nothing but the fading chatter of distant traffic. You saw them force yourself to turn back, resuming the trek towards your flat. One block, then another, streetlights flickering on, humming faintly against the dust. And then you froze beneath a harsh glow of the nearest lamp. Half shrouded in shadow, someone was waiting. Tall, still, watching, blue eyes catching the light just enough to glint. Peter. He took one step forward. Instinct pulled you a step back before your brain caught up, screaming at how suspicious that looked. You tried to correct it, shifting forward again like nothing had happened. But the mistake was already made. His eyes, sharp, unrelenting, caught the movement, and he swore just a flicker of a second. His lips curled into something dangerously close to a smirk. He swallowed hard, throat dry, heart thundering, so loud it felt like it roused your ribs. You could probably hear it. You could probably smell it. Act casual. Just act casual. Your gaze darted forward. An off-road path just a few feet away. If you turned there, it only had 15 minutes to your walk home. 15 minutes was nothing compared to your shaking a killer, right? With a stiff determination, you forced your legs to move, one step then another, trying to mimic normalcy. To your relief, or maybe horror, maybe terror, he didn't fall immediately. The hesitation was all the window you needed. You veered sharply between two buildings, slipping down the narrow beaten path. The moment you were out of sight, you bolted. Gravel and dirt spat up behind you, your lungs burning as you clenched your reusable bag like it was a lifeline. You took random turns left, right, another left, your sneakers skidding on patches of loose grit. Anything to throw him off. He had no reason to follow, no reason to be under that streetlight in the first place. The script should have had him at Wyan's apartment. So why was he here? Why was he off script? He skidded to stop at last, chest heaving, back pressed against the damp wall of some nameless building. Each gasp, scraped your throat raw as you tried to quiet the riot in your chest. If the French film critic who lived in the back of your brain was still watching, you could almost hear them blowing out a long drag of a smoke before muttering, "Fraud. You're a fraud." You squeeze your eyes shut, counting 1, 2, 3 until you reach 10. When you open them again, the street around you was silent, empty. No storm blue eyes cutting through the dark. The leaves flattered weakly in your chest. You pushed yourself off the wall, rubbing your neck with a shaky laugh. "I think I lost him." Did you now? His voice drifted from the shadows to light, low and amused, fretting with something sharp and hungry. Your stomach dropped, ice flooding your veins, even before you dared to turn your head. A weird, high, kneeling sound tears out of you. Part was whimper, part disbelieving laugh, and it lands in the air like a broken note. It makes Peter's mouth twitch into a smile that doesn't reach his eyes. Under the dying light, his teeth catch the glow, sharp and white against the shadow of his grin. He looked equally parts scientist and predator, the kind of cold fascination you expected from someone watching a rabbit attempt an impossible maze. "You're not supposed to be here, are you?" he asked. You're not supposed to be here, are you? He asks. Voice soft as a knife and twice as hungry. The words drop like a stone in your gut. Your vision edges with a faint bore. As panic claws its way up your throat, you clamp both hands around the handle of your bag until your knuckles hurt, forcing your breath to come in small, measured pulls. You open your mouth to say something, anything, and it snaps shut again. The same stupid freeze you felt this morning. Then the thought lands. Sudden, ridiculous. He's not supposed to be here either. He should be on his way to his house, to his routine. Wyan should be probably knocked out in his van. The script playing out like a predictable replay. Near are you? He blinks as he's hearing it for the first time. Then he laughs, sharp, high, and utterly without warmth. An animal sound that makes your skin crawl. He hunches like someone trying to hold back a laugh that wants to become something worse. I knew there was something off, he mutters to himself. Hand drifting to his face as if to check reality. What? You croak. Your voice is a dry twig in your throat. Were you just toying with me this morning? He presses, eyes narrowing, the accusation and a physical shove. No, you stammer. Hands instinctively rising in a defensive, useless plea. Your throat is raw. Sawing takes the effort. You try to will your limbs to move, but they only tremble. Peter closes a distance like a shadow floating in on you. One step becomes two, and the world shrinks until your back hits the cold brick of the building. He doesn't touch you. Not yet. He presses with presence. A pressure that makes the air taste metallic. You could feel him. The heat of his jacket. The faint scent of smoke on his shirt. The steady hush of his breathing. You are pinned without a hand, even finding your skin. So durably, he reaches behind him. Your heart vaults into your throat with a glint of metal catches the lamplight. A blade slides into view, cold, compact, critical. He taps the tip against his finger. The sound, a tiny, bright click that rings loud than it should in a quiet night. Tell you what, he says, tossing the knife up and catching it in one fluid motion. You watch it spin, the steel flash, and when it stops, he holds it out to you by the handle, like offer. He smiles. His smile is all teeth now, and there's a dangerous patience in his voice. This'll go a lot more smoothly if you tell me exactly what you know. Peter's point of view. Peter leaned against the cold metal post of the streetlight, the cigarette between his fingers burning down to its last breath. He hadn't waited for smoke. It was a ritual, something to keep his hands busy, while the script tugged at him like visible strings. Drag him exactly where he needed to be. Ran cue. There they were. He exhaled slowly, letting the smoke curl into the air, eyes narrowing as their figure tugged down the sidewalk. Not why in, not the point of the story. Not supposed to matter, and yet his jaws tickled, tongue running over the inside of his cheek. They walked like they were weighed down, like every step was a fight. Their NPCs, placeholders, never carried themselves like that. They were too smooth, too hollow. But they moved like someone who actually had something to lose. Pierre's lips tugged into a humorous smirk. That wasn't in the coding. He flickered the dying cigarette into the gutter, watching the embers spore out before shoving his hands deep into his pockets. The urge was there, stronger than it should have been, to step forward, to test them, to see what they could do if he closed the distance between them. And beneath it all, growling at the back of his mind, was a damn name. He didn't even have the full thing. Just the sound of rattling around. Archly familiar in a way he couldn't pin down. Like a memory from before the game, from somewhere that wasn't supposed to exist for him. His gaze locked on them under the street lamp. His expression flat, unreadable, still as a hunting dog. They stopped, froze, like prey should. Peter tilted his head slightly, as if testing the weight of this new puzzle. That wasn't where the script wanted him. But for the first time in a long time, he considered ignoring it. Peter watched the stumble of hesitation, the flinch of instinct that pulled them back a step. Gotcha! It was subtle. Nothing an average NPC would even register. But to him, it was a flare in the dark, not scripted, not hollow, real. His darling had tells. But but this was different. He seen prey before, but never something that looked so aware of the hunt. They moved forward again, trying to bury the mistake, but the damage was done. He felt his lips twitch at the edges, a near smile fretting. Their fear rolled off them in waves, thick enough to taste. Pierre stayed still, let them sweat. He could walk forward, close the distance in an instant, but where was the fun in that? Sometimes the game dragged him by the throat, forcing his hand, But tonight, the strings felt loose, and he wanted to see what they'd do without the puppet master pulling. Sure enough, they bolted. The second they ducked off the main road, Peter exhaled a quiet laugh, pushing away from the streetlight. They thought they were clever, zigzagging down the back alleys like a rabbit fleeing a fox. But rabbits never realized how loud they were until it was too late. Every footfall, every ragged breath, every frantic scrape of their shoes against concrete, it all led him along as easily as a trail of breadcrumbs. But he didn't even need to rush. Why would he? He knew the city better than they did. He knew every narrow cut, every blind corner, every dead end bled into. And the best part, they thought they'll shake him. Peter lingered in the dark, watching them stumble against the wall, counting under their breath that would somehow ward him off. The picture of a frail leaf, he could almost laugh. They even convinced themselves enough to speak it loud. I think I lost him. That was his cue. He stepped just close enough, let his voice roll off from the shadows like the wave of promise that friend and a fret all at once. Did you now? Oh, the way their bodies stiffened at the sound, better than any kill scream. Peter smirked, hiding in the dark. The script could wait. This was so much better. The sound that came out of them, God, it was perfect. High-pitched, broken between a whimper and a laugh, like their body couldn't decide whether to beg or deny. It curled in Peter's ears, sweet as music, and he felt his lips peel into a grin, and he didn't bother to hide. Sharp teeth catching what was left of the light, just enough to let them see. He tilted his head, studying them, dissecting the twitch in their hand around the bag, the shallow drag of their lungs, the glossy fear crowding the edges of their eyes. Not NPC, not a script puppet, too alive. You're not supposed to be here, are you? The words slip out before he could stop them, low and probing. The way their expression cracked, the way panic hits them like a fist to the gut, or it's saying to him, they weren't ready for that. They weren't programmed for that. But neither are you. For half a second, Peter blinked. The laugh that ripped out of him next was sharp and humorous. Something unhinged, scratching under the surface. He bent over slightly, catching his stomach, hand dragging down his face as he shook his head. Ah, I knew there was something off. The sound wasn't for them, it was for him. For a galling uncertainty at his chest they couldn't imagine. His gaze snapped back to them, sharper now, teeth barreling in something like a triumph. Are you just toying with me? Were you just toying with me this morning? They stammered, raised their hands, denial trembling out. Peter didn't hear the words so much as the crack between them, the dryness in their throat, the way each syllable rattled like an empty can. Pathetic, beautiful, real. Beautiful? He quickly shelved the thought. He stepped forward, slow, deliberate. Their back hits the wall with a soft thud, and the sight of them trapped there, with nothing but his shadow pressing close, made heat flicker low in his chest. He didn't touch them, not yet. He didn't need to. The air between them was already suffocating. His hand slipped behind him, fingers curling around the cold steel. The knife came free, with the ease of long patience gleaming under the weak, street light. He tapped the tip of with his finger, the sharp sting grounding him. Tell you what. He tossed it up, caught easily, enjoying the way their eyes tracked the movement, like a prey caught in the glint of a hawk's talon. He rolled the handle into his palm, a smirk pulling at his lips. This'll go a lot more smoothly if you tell me exactly what you know. And God, he hoped they did. He wanted to hear it, wanted to crack them open like a secret only he was meant to find. And that was chapter 2 of Getting Caught in the Rain. And so far that is the last chapter, because the author is going to take a break from your boyfriend because of burnout. But please, if you like this video, please stop by and support them. And if you like my video, please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Comment down below and like the video. I'll see you guys next time.